What's up, honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, honey love? I see you. What you doing, Red Sonya? What's up, Sonya? Fat Mama Sonya. What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say?
All right. Salute to the chat. Welcome back to another episode of Game Dog Talk. Back in the building with the legendary Mr. Schoolboy Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?
Real good. Just telling you, I was knocked out sleep, man. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, it's one of those good sleeps when you're drooling sleep.
Yeah.
Shit. Let's see here. We scroll up and see what we got in the building. Let's see. City Boy Kennel, salute, man. Williams Kennel, salute. Nukem Dukem, salute. Bert in the building. What's happening, man? Miami Snoopy 305, salute. Hardy Boys, Pennsylvania. What's up, man? Ezel Henry in the building, salute. Let's see here. No Smoke 77. Vernon Stone's in the building, salute. All right. Got Fall City Bully, salute. Mike Lee. Griffin Kennel. James Brown Sr. Oh, shit. Skipped on me here. Let's see. Get back up to James Brown Sr. Hey, Jay in the building. Dog Man, salute. Live Life Real, salute, bro. My brother BFT Boxing, salute, homie. Aladdin Saddam in the building. The lovely sister La D, salute, sister. Aaron up in here, what's up, man? Okay, we'll get to some of these questions, Aaron. Matter of fact, we can tackle this one real quick. He has a question. He says, my bull terrier / American Pit Bull Terrier was crossed with top-notch American Pit Bull Terrier blood, and she is explosive. Is it a good idea to breed her to my dead game American Pit Bull Terrier to start New York? So you're saying she's like what, a quarter bull terrier? You saying the dog's a quarter bull terrier? I mean, shit, your dog, man. Your dog is your yard, your product. I personally wouldn't. I would probably depends on what you want to do. I would, just deal with with American Pit Bull Terriers. That's my thing. You know what I mean? I think you're gonna run into problems later on. That's just my personal opinion. What do you think, Schoolboy?
Yeah, I didn't mix breeds. Some people do if you have a purpose for doing it. Like a lot of guys do that with catch dogs. In fact, the best catch dog I seen was inbred pit bull. I think I mentioned this before, but he was inbred pit bull crossed with mastiff and hound dog and stuff. He was probably the best catch dog I ever seen. He was big too, about 80, 90 pounds. And some people do that, they'll mix staff with pit or staff with hound or something, just so they can get along and don't start nothing while they're chasing the hog or catching the hog,
Right.
But, if you're going to mix breeds, have a purpose for doing it. And it's not for the traditional sense of the breed, you put something else in there, they're not pit bulls no more,
Right. Mm-hmm.
So like you said, it's up to the person. They want to do it, go ahead. But
Right.
Personally, I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're gonna run into problems later on down the line once you start. If you start in the yard, you're gonna start selling puppies and shit. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna be tempted not to tell people that bull terrier is in there. You know what I mean? Then you
Yeah.
become you become just like
Yeah.
everybody else, man. You know.
Yeah. That's true too. And uh, much to people's surprise, the bull terrier was not bred for what the pit bull was bred for. People think it was, but it wasn't. It's not that type of dog. They
Hmm.
got it mixed up. You know,
Right.
any dog can be aggressive and fight and all that. All dogs do that, but there's only one breed that was bred for that. And nowadays, it they can do all kinds of stuff with it. There's all kinds of competitions, legal stuff to do with it. So if you want to do that to enhance your weight puller or something like that, I understand that. Or make a catch dog or something like that. But
Right.
that's about it.
Yes, indeed. All right. While we're waiting on, look, Ram, he gonna come in a minute. See him in the chat. Look, Ram. What's up, Boss Dog Kennels, Antonio Warren, CD Sean. Salute to everybody in the building. Okay. First question. We got a lot of questions this week, but I'm only we only gonna I guess address 5, and we can save some for the next week. But we got a lot of questions. So, first question is kennel blindness. Someone wanted us to address that. I know we talked about it before in the past. What is kennel blindness and things of that nature? You want to take that one, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, yeah. What it generally means is you stick to the dogs in your yard. You don't go outside your yard. And the blindness comes from the gene pool is so tight, you start having problems with it. A lot of the older guys will do that. They don't want to breed outside their yard. They want to keep their stuff pure. But then you have the negatives that come with too much inbreeding, and a lot of bloodlines and family dogs were lost that way because you can't repeatedly over and over and over and keep doing it generation after generation, inbreed, inbreed, inbreed. You got to throw crosses in there. You got to line breed some, and you got to have loose line breeding and total out crosses, and 3/4, 25% like that.
Right.
And they get blind to their dogs because that's all they see and that's all they know, and they're trying to keep it pure, and then the quality of the animal goes down. That's basically what kennel blindness is, you know.
Right. Right. Yeah. A lot of people, you know, kind of asking me about kennel blindness, and I think that if you want to have dogs that are functioning good and to the best of their ability, the best of their potential, I think you have to do what Mr. Garcia said. You have to have, the blood can't be too tight, especially when you got dogs going back. It's people out here who got, boomerang dogs, you know what I mean? And it's tight, 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 you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
if you get those dogs, you already know you got to outcross them when you get them, you know?
Yep.
You can't get them, and, I'm going to give me a pair of them, and I'm going to keep the blood too. No, they're going to start, you're going to start losing a lot in the dogs, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
As far
yeah.
as
A lot of
performance,
it, a lot of
yeah,
it is a health issue.
right,
They start becoming unhealthy. You'll have cleft palates and uh, uh, heart heart problems and kidney,
right.
internal organ problems and
Hmm.
skin problems and like that. Because whatever bad is in a dog, when you inbreed it, it comes out more.
Right,
And
right,
all of them have something wrong with them. It's just with that hybrid vigor and that loose line breed and all that, you kind of keep it suppressed. When you start
right.
inbreeding, that bad stuff will come out faster than the good stuff, you know.
Hmm.
So not that inbreeding isn't bad or doesn't work, it does. But the other thing is that you think if you don't inbreed, you're going to lose something. If you follow the traits, you don't lose it.
Right,
Even when you make an outcross, the dogs are going to take after one side or the other or both. So you have to determine which is which, and then where you're going to go from there. You know,
right.
but if you follow the traits. The traits are retained, and you follow them. You don't lose the traits that you want to keep, even when you outcross. You know, so that's a purity. You know, 100% pure shit is still shit. You know,
Right. Absolutely.
so that's people don't look at it that way. You know, the one thing with those heavily inbred dogs like that, when you do outcross them, now you got that hybrid vigor again. But if you go back to it, now you're back to, you know, tightening up on that side, and they're gonna go down in quality again. You know, so it takes a lot. There's a lot to breeding and a lot to you know, retaining traits and keeping certain things within a family of dogs. But you don't have to inbreed to do that. That's my point.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Salute, SFS, American Pit Bull Terrier Global. Salute, man. See you in the building. Santi Mendy, salute. Banks, I thought that was Bank Statement. Barnstorming Bulldog, salute. All right. What's up? I am Trill Will, salute, family. Right. Get to this next one here. Okay, this is a good question here. Somebody asked about what are your thoughts on swimming or swimming for conditioning and only walk keeps?
Yeah, I did one keep like that, and it worked good. You know, swimming is good because it's an all around kind of workout. You know, and basically what I did is I used a canal, right? Me and my cousin went out there. We had a thing fixed up where we could, you know, hold the dog and you know let it swim where it wouldn't run off, you know. And the warm up was the walk to the canal, then do the swimming part, you know, and then the cool down was the walk back home, you know. It's good. A couple of things, you know, you got to be careful with the water because they're going to swallow some of the water. You know, it's like if you take a dog, some people will do it in the ocean, you know, if they live near the beach or something. And if they swallow that too much of the ocean water, you know, it can hurt their kidneys, you know.
Right.
Or if you got, you know, the water ain't clean where you're taking them to swim, they're going to swallow it. It can make them sick, stuff like that. So most people use a swimming pool, or they fabricate some kind of pool, you know, or just use their own swimming pool, you know, where you know the water's good, and then do that. You know, you could you can do almost anything to work a dog. But like I said, swimming is good because they use a lot of different muscles. There's resistance from the water, you know. But the walking part is important to go along with that because they need their feet under them, you know, to make sure that you know they keep their balance and all that, you know, when they're working. So yeah,
Right.
it's good.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I never participated in the swing and keep, but when Ram gets in here, we'll get Ram to chop it up about that as well. Let me see here. What's up, Donald? Now the 66-year-old G. What's up, man? Let me see here.
Yeah, it's good too if it, you know, like in warm weather, you know, the water's cooler, so you can still get a workout in. They're not going to blow hot in the heat, so that's another advantage of it, you know.
Right, right. Mhm. Let's see here. Okay, this is a question here. Yeah, we need Thompson here. I want Thompson for this one. Matter of fact, I'm gonna skip. Well, let's go to this one here. I'm gonna skip that third one and wait for Thompson. It's about chain setups. But your best advice for owner, first time owner of a bulldog.
Best advice when they get their first dog,
You're right.
have your you know, talking about setups, have your setup ready. Make sure the area is clean. You know, have a good diet for them, good complete diet for them. Make sure they're parasite free, worm free, regular worming. You know, uh, flea dips. You know, if needed. Make sure there's no standing water in the summertime, so it doesn't attract mosquitoes. Put fly traps out if you have to, or use. I think uh, Ram mentioned, they have some natural products now, that diameticulous earth or whatever it's called, they use that for different things. Uh, uh, have proper bedding when it's cold, real cold. Some people insulate their doghouse, especially in the Northeast where it's real cold, in Canada, like that,
Mm-hmm.
uh, have proper housing. If you can't have them chained out because of your local laws. Always look up your local laws, county and city and state, and as far as tie outs go, and you might have to have kennels, have a proper kennel set up, you know, just keep them clean, uh, and uh, just in a good environment. Spend as much time as you can with them. I'd teach them how to work, even if you ain't doing nothing with them. Even if you ain't involved in shows and weight pulling and all that stuff. Regular exercise is good for them. It helps them not be destructive. It gives them something to do. They're in good condition. Don't have them too heavy. Don't have them too thin. In the summertime, if it's hot where you're at, you can keep them on the thinner side. In the winter, you're going to put more weight on them. I just added beef tallow, beef fat to their feed. And I didn't change the feed, but I added fat to it, so it kept more weight on them. And just a lot of it's common sense. Uh, you got to make sure there isn't a bunch of birds around that crap all over their area or in their water bowls, so they don't get coccidiosis, and have them vaccinated. We used to do. They had a 5-in-1 shot, then a 7-in-1 shot, then it went to a 9-in-1 shot.
Right.
But I gave them their shots, after they were weaned off their mother every 2 weeks, 3 sets every 2 weeks, one shot every 2 weeks. Uh,
Right.
what else? Just basically that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, I would say for a first time owner of one of these dogs, just make sure you get the dogs for the right reason. Make sure that you're not a type of person that you know is in love with the happening thing right now, the fad. You want to get a dog, and then 2 weeks later, 2 months later, you don't got the energy for the dog no more. You know what I mean? A lot of people do that, and these dogs end up in shelters, or you end up going from house to house because in your mind you just want to have a puppy. You want to talk shit with your boys and have some game dog talk and shit like that. But then the dogs get bigger, they require your attention, they require work, and then you don't want to put that type of energy into the dogs, and then it can be a problem. So make sure you get into it for the right reasons, I think, and spend time with the dog, of course. Uh, don't fall into trying to prove yourself or your animal with people that you don't know. You know what I mean? A lot of times people, especially nowadays, when they get into the dogs, they hear about the dog's reputation, they read a few books and stuff like that, and they want to know how tough is their dog and shit like that. And that's the quickest way to get yourself in some trouble, man. You know what I mean? So, um, if you love the dog, you respect the history, hey, man, get it. I mean, just look, there's people out there that buy guns all the time, okay? They collect guns, they love guns, but just because you have a gun don't mean you go out and recklessly shoot your gun all over the fucking neighborhood and shit like that. Don't mean as soon as somebody start talking shit, you go get your gun and shoot, blow their head off. It don't mean that. And I think you got to use a similar type of discretion with these bulldogs, man, because they're real good dogs, but what I mean, it's a huge responsibility. What I mean, with these dogs, it's more of I would say a lot more than another dog breed.
Yeah, good points. Very good points. I
Yeah.
agree.
See here, what's up, BFTB? I see, bro. He says, what BFTB asked? Let me see what he asked real quick before we go to the other question. He said, "What's the best house dog to have for a house and then an apartment? Oh, well, I mean, um, it depends on what you see. We kind of specialize in the American Pit Bull Terrier, but like if you, I mean, an apartment, I'm sure you could probably have one in an apartment, but you're gonna have to be a type of person that got a lot of time to take the dog out, walking, exercise the dog, because these are very um they're working dogs. So if you don't work them, they're gonna work themselves, and that means it's over for your shoes, it's over for your couches, it's over for all that shit, man. They can become real destructive, and then you gonna get mad at the dog, like, oh man, this fucking dog crazy. Like, no, you gotta take that motherfucker out there and work. You gotta burn some energy off like a badass kid, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially, well, apartment. You don't have a lot of room, so my advice would be get a smaller breed. If you just want a pet. If you live in a house that don't have a yard and or a real small yard, same thing. I wouldn't get a big dog. I wouldn't get a lab or a German Shepherd if you don't have room for them to run around and get rid of all that energy. And like you said, you got to have time for them, regardless if it's a house dog. Some people they go to work, they can put their dogs in the backyard, or they have a kennel, whatever breed it is, and they have a room and the dog's used to that, and you lock it up and he's not going to get loose and run off, or somebody ain't going to come steal him. But if you don't
Right.
have that luxury, you don't have the room for them, and you got to keep them inside or something, in an extra room or in a kennel inside the house, then the smaller breed is better for that, you know.
Hmm.
But whatever dog you get, pit bull or not, you know, it's it's another entity that you have to take care of, that you're responsible for. So you got to make sure, same thing, properly fed, properly dewormed, spend time with them. They need exercise, they go crazy, you know, kept up in a kennel all day long, or like that, you know.
Right.
I would get maybe a something that's more of a mellow type. I wouldn't really get a terrier type for inside the house, because they got a lot of energy and they can become destructive. And if you
Hmm.
do get one, it's on the mellow side. That's okay. But you want one that kind of just relaxes, go along with the program. Don't tear all your shit up, because they will do that, man.
Yes, indeed. Uh, Williams Kennels. Uh, he says, "Schoolboy, what do you think is the best method when getting a hound in shape?"
There is no best method. It's what's best for you, or what your dog likes. Again, how much room do you have? How much time do you have? What does your dog prefer to do, or what will he do for you? What can you teach him to do? You know, it's not so much the method or what you use when you condition a dog. It's the manner in which you do it. You have to provide some kind of exercise where you're going to get their heart rate up and their breathing, and recoup time and all that stuff. You can do that any number of ways. We just mentioned swimming. You can do that swimming. You can use a cat mill, a treadmill, a carpet mill, a slat mill, carpet mill. You can use spring pole and flirt pole and throw a ball, and if you have room to take them out, uh, uh, if they're constantly pulling, you can use a short lead. If they don't, you can use a longer lead. It gives them some room to run around. If you have an open field, you can use that to your advantage. You know, uh, so it's not, there ain't no best, because, and this is something that I always, uh, make a point of. Dog guys in the past, even people that were teams, you know, each guy on the team that conditioned a dog, they did it different. They might have had, kind of use the same stuff, but some developed something different. Same with the feed. They didn't even all feed the same. They didn't even use the dog at the same weight sometimes. One guy liked them a little heavier, one guy liked them a little less weight on them. So even within a team, there's discrepancies on, what type of work you're going to do, what you're going to feed, what weight you want to come in at, and So there's no best, there's no, there's a right way and a wrong way to condition a dog. And there's, what was the dog, what does the dog like to do? What does he prefer? If a dog won't work a flirt pole, you might be able to teach him eventually how to do it. But if he don't want to, you got to figure out something else to do with him to get that heart rate up. He
Right.
may run alongside a bike, but he won't run a treadmill. He may, he may not even like to walk on a lead, or he just kind of walks along, but he'll run a carpet mill or cat mill or something like that. And depends on where you live. If you live in the city, you ain't gonna have no cat mill.
Right. Right.
A lot of people ain't gonna be able to take them out and walk them. You walk them all over town. Well, now that's another problem. Could be a problem.
Right.
Some dogs are okay. They're out in public. They're fine. They don't go after everything they see. You know, and some ain't. So it just depends on the dog. Just depends on what available to you, how much room you have, how much time you have. Some people I know they walk their dog 5 or 6 hours a day. In the past. You know,
Right.
but some people don't have that kind of time. And the treadmill was it was designed for something else. Sears and Roebuck came out with it. Roebuck came out with it in the 1890s, I think, or 1880s, and they had different uses for it. And it was just using the dog power to run a washing machine, or something like that, or churn butter or something.
Right.
And then dog guys got the idea. Well, I can use that to condition my dog. He don't have to leave home. I don't really have to walk him out for miles and miles. So that's
Right.
kind of where the treadmill came in, or the table too. Some used a table. It
Right.
spun. From that
Hmm.
table, somebody got the idea to make a cat mill where you have a lot more room where the dog can run.
Right.
So it's just, I get that question all the time, and unfortunately, that's my answer. There is no best way to do it. You know, there's not one keep that's better than another. There's not one feed that's better than another, regardless of what people say. There's no science that says that. It's just, do you have a balanced diet? What is the dog's needs? Do some research, and when you research, especially, you can look up like hound dogs. What do they feed them? Those are working dogs.
Right.
Greyhounds. What do they feed them? Those are sporting dogs, or even Iditarod dogs. And then you gotta, it depends on where you live. What's the temperature during the day? How, just a lot to it involved. But once you practice and practice and practice, you'll get better at it and better at it and better at it. And you can fine tune it. And everybody I know eventually ends up with their own key, doing it their way. Even if
Right.
they learn from a mentor and they learned his way to do it, they're going to tweak it and change certain things, because not all the dogs are the same. The area where you live is different. The weather is different. So you have to adjust for all that. But it takes time. I tell people I'm slow. It took me 7 years before I was comfortable with my key. But that's not unusual. Even though I was competitive during all of them years I was learning, I got better and better at it as time went by.
Right. Right. Hmm. Salute to Doug in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation, man. He says for the tip jar. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Uh, Williams Kennel says I got a lazy hound. She runs the chain, but won't run the mill or work. Period. Hand walking only goes so far until she lays down. But she's fight crazy, so I don't know uh, how to work her. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, lazy, huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
Not to be disrespectful, but I don't like dogs like that. I don't like dogs that don't like to work. It's a hassle, and I've used them. That's why I don't like them. I know those kinds, but you can still figure something out. Like she runs a chain. If you have room, put her on a cable run if you can. If
hmm
she's good on the chain like that, and she won't walk, you know, all you need to do, before your workout is walk her out to empty out, piss and shit, if she'll do it, if she hasn't already done it on the chain. You can flirt pole her on the chain. You can play tug of war with her on the chain. You can put her on a cable run if you have the room, if you're allowed to do it where you live, and she'll run that, you know. Uh, uh, but it's just not my type of dog. There ain't nothing wrong with them. It has nothing to do with the end product, whether they're going to turn around. It's just my preference, you know, that I don't like dogs like that. But that doesn't mean you can't figure out a way to get them to do some type of exercise.
Right.
And, you know, a famous dog guy from back in the day, that's what he did with his. He put him on a cable run. And he didn't do a pre-keep. He just did that. And they're active, especially a dog that's active, you know, they'll run back and forth on that cable run,
Right.
basically work their self into half-assed decent shape. You know,
Right.
you can do stuff on the chain, like I said, a flirt pole or a tug of war. You know,
Yep.
you can set up a spring pole in your yard. Maybe she'll chase balls. You know, if you have room in your yard, an area where just you and her. You know, just throw balls and have a couple of them in your hand. You throw one, she goes and grabs that. You show her the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Throw that one, she'll drop that one, go after the other one. You pick it up and just repeat over and over and over like that.
Yep. Yeah. That the little catch, man. That's if you can train your puppy, man, at an early age to respond to the ball like that with catch, man, that's an easy workout. And it's fun too, you know. Tossing that ball out there, you take off, come back, toss it, come back. It's like, man, it's easy as hell, man.
Yeah, you sit on a chair and do that. Be
Right.
fat and lazy like me, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that as long as your arm don't give out. You know, you can do that for hours if you want to. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
But most dogs, you know, if you mess with them over some time, you can get them to do something. You know, they not. Some are just naturals. I've seen dogs first time, man. They're grown. You know, never been on a treadmill. You throw them on and they just start running like they were born to it. You know. Other ones you got to mess with them, work with them. You know, just
Right.
give them time. Don't give them anything negative. You know, don't get mad at them or hit them or yell at them or say no or anything like that. You just ease them along, put them on there, encourage them. When they start to walk it a little bit, you just encourage them more, and they'll get the idea that you like it, so they want to please you, so they'll start doing it more and more. In fact, I
Mm-hmm.
just had a guy talk to me. You know, his dog was a perfect house dog. He didn't realize it, you know, but he wanted it to work a spring pole, you know, a bait, you know, tug of war and all that.
Right.
Dog had no interest with it. He was a year old, never been outside his yard, never been off the chain, never been messed with, didn't know anybody, but he was real mellow and intelligent inside the house. He wasn't destructive. He just kicked back. But he worked with them over and over, you know, and finally he messaged, hey, I got him to do it. You know, he does it good now, look, you know, and this and that. And so it's just be patient, you know. I told him it's probably better if you're going to keep him inside. Don't teach him none of that stuff, because then he might start chewing up your couch and stuff, you know.
Right.
But you know, that doesn't mean they're going to chew everything up. But it was just, you know, he wanted the dog to do a certain thing, and he worked with them till he got him to do it. Now the dog does it. So it's just that.
Yes, indeed. Um, Another question we got here is, how do you start a quality yard in 2021?
First thing, like I mentioned before, learn the local laws. Learn how you can keep your dog, and what is a violation of keeping them, like tethering laws and number of dogs you can have. And it goes back, have a proper setup. You know, however you're going to keep them, have the area for them, have proper shade, proper housing, proper, you know, change their water bowls twice a day, good food, healthy. You know, as far as what types of dogs, you know, that's just up to you. You know, who you getting your dogs from? You know, what kind of quality are they? What are they? You know, how do they breed them? And you just go from there. You know, it's just a lot of it is maintenance. You just got to make sure that you have daily maintenance, pick up after them. You know, just the stuff we talked about earlier.
Right. Yeah. I'll say, man, you know, look into if make sure, like I said before, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, and you have the time, energy to put into the dogs. Um, get you a couple of good foundation dogs. Spend some time researching the blood that you want to use, and taking a look at that blood and seeing if that's what you want, that's what your passion is. And then I would say just be relentless in what accomplishing your goals, man, and try not to get caught up. And I keep saying this to the young guys because I understand. I get a lot of these questions. Like, make sure you don't get caught up in trying to prove yourself or your dogs to people, because let's face it, man, this is 2021. You're never gonna be a legend. You're not gonna be some dude that everybody knows 30 years from now. Hey, remember that guy? You're not gonna be Carver. You're not gonna be Mayfield or no shit like that. It's not. You know how I know you're not gonna be that? Because there are legends right now and you don't even know their name, because the game changed. It's not being advertised the way it used to. There are well accomplished people out there that you don't even know their names. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's still talking about the same people from back in the fucking 40s, 50s, and 60s and shit, 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? So that time has passed, man. I wouldn't. If you're gonna start a yard, get into it for the right reasons, and get you a couple of good dogs that you like, and go from there, man. And be honest with yourself about what you have. Uh, you know, and I would say, depending on what you want to be. Another thing too, I want to say, don't lie about the whole. I'm so sick of the whole peddler thing. Everybody's saying, "Oh, this person's a peddler. This person's a peddler." Listen, man, if you starting a yard up and you finna start breeding dogs, you're gonna be a fucking peddler too. Okay, so just cut the shit. Like, stop this person's a peddler. I'm not. Everybody say the same shit and everybody peddle dogs. So it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and you don't need a lot of dogs. And even in the past, there's a lot of people like myself, Boyles, we didn't have a lot of dogs. You don't need 50, 60, 20, even 20. You don't need that many. Just a few dogs. And like you said, everybody uses that word peddler. A peddler in the pit bull sense is someone who lies, cheats, steals, anything they can do to make money off the dog. But if you're honest about your breedings and pedigrees and all that, everybody that I know, or almost everybody, not everybody, I'll say everybody, because there ain't one that I can think of off the top of my head that didn't sell dogs. They all do. We all have. You may not sell a bunch of them, and you might sell them for whatever different reason, as long as you're honest about the dog when you sell it. You sell pups. Pedigree should be straight. The pup should be healthy, dewormed, well fed. But everybody sells dogs. Even people I know, they don't sell dogs. They have, and
Right.
and most people like that, they give more away than they sell, because they can't keep them all. But yeah, that you got, peddler is a bad name, and it's usually behind a bad person. But if you're honest and straight up, you have some integrity, there ain't nothing wrong with selling a dog. It's just who you're going to sell it to.
Right.
If you're just selling them to anybody, then that might have some repercussions. But if you're selling them to people that you have some kind of relationship with, or you know them pretty good, or they come at you the right way, and you want to sell them a pup, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody does it.
I agree. Yep, I have no problem. If I was gonna breed my dogs eventually, I'm gonna sell some of them. I got no problem saying that ahead of time. If I breed them, I'm gonna sell them. You know what I mean? A few of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't get why everybody pretends that oh, this person's a peddler or this person's selling dogs. Look, every time I look up, everybody's selling dogs. Everybody
Yeah.
got some litter, and it's like, oh, I might let a few of them go to the public. No shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they say, none for sale, and then 2 weeks later, I got to let these go.
Right. Yeah. I decided I had to let two of them go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned famous legends from the past. Well, name one that didn't sell dogs.
Right.
You know, Boudreaux, Carver, Tudor, Heinzel. You know, anybody. Those are just some well-known guys, but
Mhm.
they all sold dogs. Shit, they advertise selling dogs. You know,
Absolutely.
so
Mhm.
so you know.
Welcome down, Ryan. Big Steppin'. What's up, bro?
What's happening, man? Just left that meeting. So, yeah, my bad on being late, but how y'all doing today? What's up,
Oh,
Mr.
good.
Garcia?
Good. How you doing, Ram?
All good, man. Can't
You made it.
complain. Hell yeah. Scratched through the motherfucking week and won. You feel me? Yeah. Life didn't
Yeah.
get me this week, god damn it.
Yeah. Well, every day above ground is a good day. You know.
Hell yeah. Just keep scratching, scratch last. That's how you win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. Salute to Game Dog Life in the super chat. Much love, much appreciation. Right. Then we got brother Thompson Kennels up in here. What's up, Thompson?
Thompson got like 30 minutes before he get the signal, so I'm gonna just say a bunch of bullshit before he answer
Hey, what's
you.
going on, man?
Like I
What up? What up?
said.
Yeah, you got that delay.
Salute to the panel, man. Salute to the chat, man. Salute to Mr. Garcia, man. 78 Ram, what's going on?
Chiller,
how
chiller.
you, how you doing, Thompson?
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you this question, Ram. Since y'all up in here now, let's get to um how. Okay, this is one I got for you, Ram. Uh, what's your thoughts on walk only keeps and swimming for conditioning?
Swimming, I'll start with that. That's a good low impact workout. That's real smooth. If you could do that, that's good for a dog, especially one who, don't like to weight pull and do like resistance work type shit to build that strength. That's some good shit for it. I wouldn't depend solely on that, but that's a good place to start. The walking keeps, I only seen a few be successful, and those was dogs who wasn't too turned up. So, even when they performed their duties, they would do it at their own pace and, had good heart rate control, good breath control. So all they really would need was the endurance and the stamina that you get from a walking keep. If you got a high strung dog that like to run and all that shit, I wouldn't recommend doing that because that type of dog needs his heart rate to get up high enough and be able to recover fast enough on his feet. And walking ain't gonna do that for them type of dogs who just get in there and barnstorm or just a fast type dog, not necessarily a barnstormer, but something that's gonna push the pace. So you need, that high intense workout type conditioning program for that. But yeah, walking keeps is cool for stamina and endurance. The dog needs that. If anything, when he get late in the show, he gonna have his legs under him. You ain't got to worry about taking the bottom. So it's good for that. Like even though I'm a slat meal guy, I still do a lot of walking with my dogs for that reason. I got slat meal, I got the fucking email, but I still prefer to walk my dog still for that same reason I just listed.
Yes, indeed. Salute to Hampton USA Kennels in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation. He says, salute everyone 100%. He said 100. He says, working dogs for life. Yes, indeed, family. And we got Game Dog for Life in the super chat. Salute, fam. He says, when is the best time to get a pregnant dog antibiotics, right before or after having pups? What you say to that? I'm gonna let Thompson answer that. Thompson, are you there? I know you got delayed. Thompson got it. I don't think you heard me. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not running antibiotics to a female unless she needs it. I wouldn't recommend doing that with pups.
Okay. What you say to
Yeah,
that,
because
Ram?
you gonna kill off the probiotics that she would give the pups too. Like antibiotics is like dumping H2O2 into your hydroponics grow. It's gonna kill all the bad bacteria, but it's gonna kill the good bacteria too. Same with antibiotics. It's gonna knock off all the good probiotics that she got already, that's in her intestinal tract and all that shit. So she's gonna have to hit her with a probiotic too if you're gonna do that. Now if she got an infection or something, then yeah, give her some, but don't just give it to her for nothing, you know? That's kind of dumb.
Okay. What's your you want to answer that, schoolboy? You want me to move on?
No, they pretty much, you know, unless there's a problem, I wouldn't give, you know, I didn't give my bitches shit, you know. You gotta have their area clean. They have to be healthy. They have to have constitution. You know, they gotta be rugged. They gotta be, you know, like they said, you know, both Thompson and Rand, you know, if there's a problem, yeah, she's gonna need antibiotics, but you gotta offset that by giving them probiotics too. But if they're the reason, you know, sometimes dogs get mastitis or something like that, it's because their area ain't clean, you know, and infection from the feces or the urine will form or whatever. I don't know the science behind mastitis or any of that stuff, but you can, you know, if their area ain't clean, they could get all kinds of shit. You know, they could have skin problems. They could get mastitis. They could get, you know, uterine infections. You know, and bladder. You know, all kinds of stuff. So it's important. You know, the maintenance is important. You know, I practice a lot of preventative maintenance. Make sure they're healthy first. Make sure there ain't nothing wrong with them first. Make sure their area is clean. They're not going to pick up stuff or chew on stuff or eat stuff that ain't, you know, ain't in there. People think, you know, you leave the pups in there and the mom will clean up all the shit. Yeah, when they're little, yeah, you know, they'll do that. But it don't hurt to clean it up. She don't have to eat all of it. And when they start getting older, you don't want her eating that solid stuff. Most of them won't do it anyways, you know. So you know, uh, you're gonna have to spend the time and whatever it costs to keep her area clean, to keep her clean. You know, it don't hurt to take, you know, and bathe her every week or something. You know.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. Like, give your dog a fucking bath. Like,
Yeah,
if your
you
balls
know,
is funky, you know them bitches is itching bad as fuck. Like, what you
yeah,
think a dog who ain't been washed and been eating puppy shit for a month gonna
yeah,
feel like?
exactly.
You know,
Yeah, just
most
common
clean
sense,
dogs
man.
don't get sick like people. You know, they
Yeah,
still mammals. If you clean, you gonna be all right.
yeah, yeah, all that. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes that's all it takes. Just give her a goddamn bath once a week. Even if it's just once a week, don't have to be every day. You know,
Right.
but you know, it's like that. You know, the area mostly is clean. You know, you can start off with pups. You know, I used to lay down. I used newspaper. You know, but when they're first born, you don't have to do that. You know, if the weather ain't bad or you got them inside, you know, you don't have to lay nothing down. You can just use, you know, if you got I used to use a gondola for picking grapes, you know, so it's a wooden surface. So the first week or two, I didn't lay no newspaper down. You know, you just clean the surface off. You know,
Right.
take her and the pups out of there, put them someplace else, clean the whole thing out. You know, I sprayed with Clorox. You know, Clorox solution, let it dry, and then put them back in there. You don't want to put them in there when that Clorox is fresh or it's still wet because it can cause them to go blind. That, you know, that is
Right.
too strong. It's too strong for their eyes. You know, but
Mm-hmm.
wait till it's completely dry, rinse it off. You know, and all that. Just keep it like that. Some people don't put nothing never for the pup. They just leave it like that. You know, which that's okay too.
Yep. Like I keep my pup I got now, even though I'm, house training him and shit, but I keep him on a concrete surface. I just make sure to
Hmm.
clean that shit twice a day. Before
That's
I
it.
leave from work, I clean it, and when I come home, I
Hmm.
clean. If I get home late, I make one of the kids do it. Like
That's it.
that's just
Yeah.
basic shit though. If you like these dogs, man, you gotta treat them right if you want them to do you right when it's time. You know,
Yep.
because a lot of
Cleanliness is
dirtiness, you
next
get
to
a lot of
godliness,
internal.
man. Cleanliness and
Exactly.
deworming.
Yep. You don't want no internal infections or nothing like that, or off blood count. You done put a bag up on this shit and you think you finna go get it. And then, oh man, that dog was a cur. Like, no, you didn't clean the dog out right. The motherfucker was, you a dirty motherfucker and your dog was dirty. It's your fault.
Right. Yeah. I had an interesting question here. It says, can can breeding for mouth can breeding from mouth eventually hurt your yard? We'll go with you, Ram.
If that's all you breeding for, hell yeah. Because they call game dogs, not hard biting, bite your ass off dogs. The hardest biting dog, if he not game, is gonna quit. Be it he be a rank cur or just a fucking cur. So yeah, always keep the gameness first, man. Mouth is you can add it, but don't just breed it for that. Like, don't go breed to a hard mouth cur and then be surprised 2 years later when you got a whole bunch of hard mouth curs. Like, it's basic shit, you know. You breed for mouth, but make sure that motherfucker game. He gonna use it after he done crumbled you up, or if he behind. You feel me? Always keep that gameness first. You know, a lot of motherfuckers go under the assumption, oh, they already game bred, and the motherfuckers, you look at their records, they got a bunch of 1 and 2 timers with an L after they shit, because that shit didn't quit. When you put a real game dog with real game dog mouth on them, you know, you can bite a cur down, but a game dog ain't gonna give a fuck. I got a million hairs, and you got to kill every one of them. You know, always keep that in mind, man. That's my take. I done had some hard mouth, rough ass curs getting ready to cull them, and the dude who I got them from want them back. Now he didn't sold the motherfucker and shit, ain't tell nobody his motherfucker's a cur. But the niggas who got him can't hold nothing up, could stay with him because he a 30-minute monster.
Right.
He's still a fucking mutt though. At 25, he's slowing down. At 30, he out of there. Both times, you know, like, nigga, come get this shit, you know, or he going in the bag. These motherfuckers keep him though. And don't tell nobody. So yeah, don't be that guy. And then I'm talking about Diddy, old dirt dog kennels, Rob. You the homie, but you know you did that bullshit, my nigga. Stop it.
Ram don't give a fuck, man.
No, don't do no bullshit, man. These are only dogs, bro. There's no need for the bullshit with the dogs, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. That mouth, man. People fall in love with the mouth, like in boxing. You know, knockout, one punch knockout power. You know, people love it, and it can help you. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you know, a lot of people, especially in this generation, they champ out. You know what I'm saying? They become 2-timers and champions and shit based off of that mouth and shit. And you know, and it's easy to do. If a dog has a destructive mouth and you ain't going into nothing that's proven to be game, I mean, shit, you could just, you know, smash shitty 15 minutes. And, you know, whenever you see those little reports, 15 minutes here, 17 minutes there, 12 minutes here, 8 minutes, and it's like, okay. And then out of nowhere, you know, the fucking dog just disappeared. You know, he ain't got no breedings from him or no shit like that. And you're like, what happened to the dog? It's always the same story. Oh, yeah, he got heartworms. It was a kennel accident, and 2 dogs jumped him. No, he just ran into some shit that was game, and you couldn't punk him. You know what I mean? Remember when Mike Tyson ran into some shit? You know, somebody who was gonna stand up to him, he fucking curved out and shit. And that's my favorite fighter. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I was finna respond to a comment in the chat. Dog man RT. I ain't saying the dog would have lost necessarily mean he quit. The dogs that I'm talking about, though, that was bred just for the mouth and going under the assumption that they already game bred dogs in the pedigree. So why I got to breed for it too? That dude, his shit ain't made champ yet. You feel me? But nah, hell no. Red Jack wasn't no cur. He lost to Yantis. You feel me? Probably one of the gamest dogs of his era. He still lost though. He ain't no cur. So I get what you're saying, but that's not what I was saying. And if you took it like that, somebody else might have took it like that. I want to clarify that. Just because a dog lost don't mean he was a cur. He just got outclassed. Simple as that. When you at the top, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. You can watch a professional fight right now, the 2 champions going into each other. It's hardly ever a draw. Somebody wins, somebody lose. Same with the animals, bro. You know, just don't quit. You know, you see that one-time game lose, make sure it's that. You know.
Yep. How you feel about that, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, nature is not that kind. You know, where you can got the monopoly on something. You know, hard mouth, because inevitably when you breed and you get something good, there's something bad gonna come along with it. It don't mean it's gonna destroy your whole program or it's gonna fuck all your dogs up. But if you concentrate on one trait, like mouth, eventually you're going to lose something because you're going to fool yourself into thinking that's all you need. And if you think, well, it's in there, they got it, that's not necessarily true. That doesn't mean it's going to continue every generation if you don't see it for yourself. And this, again, this ain't nothing new. This shit has been happening since the beginning of the breed, where people have focused on that. They've done it with racehorses. They've done it with game fowl. They want hard hitting, hard cutting birds. They get that, and then they lose the gameness. They lose the ruggedness. The durability. It's a constant thing, generation after generation. People think they're going to come up with something new or they can buck nature. It don't happen. It's just not that way. And like I said, people have been doing that forever. There was a time in the 60s or 70s where they wanted these hard hitting fowl that cut deep. Well, they got it, but they lost the heart, and they'd fly off, take off. Same thing with racehorses. They want these fast, speedy horses. They're good in a half a mile. They start getting up to a mile, a quarter. They ain't got the endurance to do it. They ain't got, mile and a half. They peter out, and they won all them short races. But when they went longer stretches, they come in 5th, 6th, 10th, last. So it's a balance, whatever it is. You get something, you're going to lose a little bit of something else. You got to try and keep it balanced. And when you focus on one thing like that, like you said, everybody likes a hard puncher, and they have a lot of first round, second round, early round knockouts. But when they have to go some rounds against a guy that don't fall down every time they hit them, usually they peter out because they ain't used to doing it. They ain't used to going that distance. So when it gets into the later rounds, they run out of gas. And some guy that don't hit that hard, he taps them on the chin, they fall down. It's just from exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Dude don't even have to hit hard. But if you're that tired and frustrated, you just lay down, you ain't going to get up, So right. It's the same thing in in anything. You don't want a hound dog that can't run 25 miles. If he's only good for 5 or 10 miles, he ain't worth the shit. So
yes, indeed.
Keep that in mind. And that's in anything. Even today, we have the legal sports and all that. Same thing with conditioning. People condition their dogs for all kinds of sports that are legal today. Well, if you don't properly condition, they ain't gonna win. It don't matter if it's a weight pull or treadmill race, whatever. So it's just a concept that's been around for a long time. And if you don't have the experience to know the difference, you're gonna focus too much on one thing, and you're gonna lose a lot on the other end.
Yes, indeed. Thompson, I got a question for you from FSS. He says, Thompson, when crossed into the sorrel line, did it improve your conformation of your dogs, or did it stay the same? Basically, what traits were improved? I see you. Great job, bro.
Well, basically, I was searching for just a little bit more intelligence, and the confirmation was a plus. So I'm 2 generations in with it now, and I'm raising them grandkids off of Flash. I got a pair off of that, and they're grandkids, so it's like a 3/4 balls bolio sorrels breeding. But the intelligence is what I needed. You know what I mean? So you can get these dogs to a point where they're so intense that it can be a con in certain aspects. Sometimes things just need to be rounded off. And as far as the mouth thing, I would just tell people, don't go chasing Sasquatch, because I've seen a lot of people programs just go to shit chasing mouth when it became popular. You hear a good story or some shit, like you'll end up with a yard full of scatterbred bullshit chasing mouth. If you stay within your family tree of dogs, and like the panel alluded to, if you're actually seeing the dogs mature and going through them, you may have good mouth with that same heart. So, chasing that one attribute just to add it into my program, hoping I get mouth, is not realistic for me. But, that's my 2 takes on it.
Hey, Mr. Gumbo, what you talking about, man? We got a bet. What you talking about? It's on tomorrow. I know we ain't bet on the Ricky Dog fight, did we? What we betting on? All right, let me see here. Another question we got. What's your thought, Thompson? This is another one I wanted you to tackle. A guy asked the question, how to proper set up a chain. Well, what's the proper chain setup?
Oh man, I did a video on my I do an old school car axle tie out on mines, and I got kennels and stuff. I did a video on it, but it's whatever. It's a million different setups. You could do cable runs. I'm about to start fucking putting one up probably this weekend or next weekend just to test it out and see how I want to play with it. But there's a lot of different styles. The way you could tether your dog, you know what I mean? But I did a video on it. You just car axle chain, some O-rings, some C-link connectors, or you can get some cold shuts, whatever you feel comfortable doing, and just make it adequate for the animal that you're gonna have on it. If you're gonna have a heavy-duty bulldog that that's gonna be hitting the chain, double up on your O-rings and stuff. Make sure it's secure to keep the animal.
Hey, okay, I see you, Mr. Gumbo. We bet on. Okay, I picked Virgil Ortiz to win, right? And you picked Green Bean. All right, yeah, that's easy money. How much we bet? $100 or something? Just have my money ready for me tomorrow, man. Have my money for me, man. Let's see. Yeah, let me remind me, man. I'll be forgetting. I'll be drinking this shit. I'll be forgetting how much I bet. I don't want you to think I'm steadying you up. How much did we bet on that, man? Mr. Gumbo, let me know. Let's see here. Let me go to this. Okay, what's the panel's thoughts on crop ears? Let's start with you, Mr. Garcia.
I mean, it was it didn't make a difference to me. I left the dogs however they were. I didn't crop no ears, chop no tail, do nothing to them. It's more of an aesthetic. It actually came about from the show dog people, because everything in a show dog has to be even, symmetrical, proportional. And if you got a dog got one ear flopping to the side, one hanging straight up, or you got one's a half drop or full drop, and the other one's crooked or straight or whatever, it's just a way of even them out. People, you hear all these stories. Well, if you crop the dog's ear, again, speaking of the past, it leaves their ear exposed, and a dog can hurt them easier. Other ones say, well, you cut it off, they can't grab an ear and all that. It's all bullshit. They don't, it's just, you got to remember when you hear us old guys talk, not just them, but I wasn't like a lot of them. And what they would do is they tell you stuff just to mess with you, just to fuck with you. See if you go do it. See if you try it. See if you take, just a yarn, basically, just to see your reaction. Some of them did it for that reason. Bert Soil used to say, well, they can't grab my dog's ears, which could be true. And it could be the style that his dogs were. It was his way of marking his dog, because it didn't matter if it was a pup or he bought a grown dog that was finished out or whatever. He cut them ears down to the nub. He did that with every dog. That was kind of his signature move. You knew that was a sorrel dog if you seen him chopped off with no ears,
Yeah.
But it's a personal preference. Some people say it's cruel and this and that. Well, that ain't true either.
Right.
I mean, they do it with Dobermans and all that, but it was originally came from show dog people. Had nothing to do with their ability or anything like that. You just want them. It looks pretty to a lot of people, and that's it just became a fad. And it probably came from other breeds. I don't think it started with pit bulls.
Right.
And I think in my opinion, it came from show dog people, just to have that symmetry where you ain't got the ears all funky. You can still enter them in the show, and then it became a standard for dogs like Dobermans, that they have to have their ears cropped.
Right. Yeah, I don't have an issue with ears cropped. I like how it looks on most dogs if it's done right, and depending on the dog's structure, head shape, and stuff. I think it can look nice on some of the dogs and stuff like that. Usually, if the dog's ears are, even and shit, I like their natural ears and shit. I hate that weird funky little ear and shit when one of them's sticking up and one of them's hanging down and shit. But my grandfather, I started laughing because you sounded like my granddad when you said, my grandfather used to say all the time, like, oh, keep that fucking funky ear up there, You'd rather a hog grab that ear than his stifle or some shit. Keep that fucking distraction up there, you know what I mean? So, yeah,
Yeah,
it was funny.
yeah.
But
People wouldn't have liked my dog because their ears were all over the place, man.
right.
I kind of that was kind of my signature. They'd be straight up in the air, flop to one side, sticking out. This and
Yeah,
that.
man. I say shit. Do what floats your boat, man. If you like it, I like it. I like it both ways. I like the cut and I like it without the cut. I like the funky ears though. I'm a fan of the funky ears. But all I say is just make sure you do the shit humanely. Don't be in your homeboy backyard with the rusty scissors and shit.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you do it humanely.
Right. What's your take on it, Ram?
I mean, the look is cool. I've never done it though, just because fucking I don't. That's not my thing, And I used to, crop ears and shit, the right way, put the dog under and all of that. It just, wasn't never my thing. It looked cool as fuck though. Like the first dog I ever met on the first episode we ever did, I talked about was Champion Max. His ears was cropped and it looked real cool on him, but just, I don't like that shit. I done seen too many times a dog get grabbed, by a head dog or something like that, and a dog who ain't got no ears and shit, you got to give up that ear gristle because the head dog is going for the head. That's his fucking shit. So he bite you in your ear gristle or punch your eardrum. Just too much could happen, as opposed to if that big ass flopping ear was right there and he could just suck on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my take on it. For show dogs though, yeah, that shit is cool when you get it done right. I like the old school battle crop. I don't
Yeah.
really like that show crop that they do on the bulldog because it look like you just put some Doberman ears on a pit bull. That's small titties on a fat bitch. It just don't look right. I'm just saying, I like big girls. You a big girl, you gotta be big everything. You got little titties and you fat, that shit looks stupid. Same with the dogs with long ass ears, and you got a terrier head. That just look dumb to me.
Oh shit! He said small titties with a fat bitch. Man, come on, man.
That shit look dumb as hell too, though. You be like, oh yeah, big mama, even little titties come out. You be like, hell no.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you're not supposed to be fat, bitch. Go work out. If
Yeah.
you're supposed to be fat, you got them big mama titties.
You stupid, man.
I'm just
Yeah.
telling you the game from how I see it. That's all.
You fuck around, think that's her titties and shit. Take that shirt off and ain't nothing but one of her stomach rolls and shit.
Yeah, and it's all little bitty nipples that point down and shit. Like, come on, man. You might well fuck with your shirt on.
The dude got bigger titties than the girl.
Yeah, how that work? We ain't finna do that.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh man! All right, what's the other question we got here? Oh yeah, I didn't ask y'all. Ram, what's your advice on how to start a quality yard in 2021?
Same way you would start that shit in 1921. Fucking good dogs, bro. Whether you bought them or you got them from somebody who bred them, Started off with good shit. Me personally, I would get a good bitch, man. If I could buy one or raise one, cool. But once she proven to be a good bitch, I would do that and pay for a good producing stud dog stud fee. Keep all the ups off and just break them up and go through them, see what you get. Now, if you get what you're looking for in that one breeding, which is hard as fuck to do, I make this shit sound easy, but it's really not. But if it work out for you, then you take those pups. You could breed them into each other, breed one back to the father, one back to the mother, just to see which way you want to go. But just keep a solid foundation of game dogs. Like, really, if I was just getting in the game and shit, I would just look for just the pure, just average game dogs. Like, I don't care about the ability, nothing. Like, because the gameness is the trait we want the most, but it's hard as fuck to get, man. Like, So start off with that and make sure you lock that in, because that shit is gonna keep you in the game when shit get real. When you come across one of them 10 mouth hard biting rough ass curves, the gameness is what's gonna make him quit. Like your gameness will make that fucking cur quit, because he's not game at all. So yeah, start with good game quality dogs, man, and go from there, bro. That's I make it sound easy, but it's difficult. But that's the way I always did it, and I always had success by just starting with good game dogs. The rest of the shit you can add, but just make sure you got that base, bro. Cause ain't shit like having a complete athlete with no fucking heart. That motherfucker jumped the box like Cayman and shit. Cayman was a killer, You don't want that. You feel me? That shit is embarrassing. Fuck that. If you're gonna quit at home, when it's free.
Right.
So yeah, just start with good for real. Quitting is free at the crib. Well, you go to the big show and quitting costs you 10 bands, and they like left there holding your dick and it's soft. It ain't even hard now. You 10 bands down. You don't want to be that guy, You want something that's gonna give it its all, no matter what. So that's what I would do, bro, if I was really, just trying to get in the game. But other than that, honestly, I wouldn't, man. There's so many suckers and shit in the game, bro. If you ain't in it yet, you ain't missing out on nothing, man. Just keep listening to us, and we'll report you the good shit that we know, because this shit ain't what it's all cracked up to be. It never was, but it's getting way less and less, As each year go by, the game changes. But yeah, if you want you hard dead set on getting in it, start with game fucking shit. I don't give a fuck if it's just what we call a game plug. Start with that. Cause that's better than a super mouth rough ass cur. You don't want that. Trust me. You don't want to be breeding. That's that chief dog, like I was told, the 30-minute mutt. The motherfucker named Chief, he got grandkids and shit now. Like, hell no. I wouldn't even fucking nope. You don't want to be that. Because you be stuck with a line full of bullshit now. You done put 10 years to only get 2 generations in, and a fucking line full of curves. You can't get that time back. All the dog shit you cleaned up, all the money you spent. Like, fuck that. Just start off with the good shit, bro, and build off of that. Don't be kennel blind either when you're doing it, because there's good game dogs in every bloodline out there, no matter what they say.
Yep.
Yeah, my friend used to say, if you ain't got the heart, what good does all that other shit matter? What good does mouth matter, or air, or ability, speed, all that stuff? It don't matter if the dog quits, Just something like that makes sense.
Yep. Yep. Like people talk shit all the time. Oh, I got an AK-47. I got an AR-15. I got 300 guns. I got so much ammunition. None of that shit mean nothing. If when you have to use it, you freeze up and shit. It don't matter. I mean, you just got it for decorations and shit. What's up, Thompson, man? What's
It
your
goes
take
back
on
into like that chasing mouth conversation. You know what I mean? It's so easy to lose the basics, and you want dogs that's gonna give it they all, and that's got to be the criteria. If they're not representing that, it's not worthy to move on with. So it just like that chasing Sasquatch shit, man. It's so easy to try to add something in and lose the foundation of it. That's why that breeding techniques and strategies and starting a yard and stuff like that, you want to start off with dogs that you fucking like, that bring those attributes to the table. It's hard to try to fix a bunch of shit in lines unless you really know how to play with the blood and you know how to breed it out. It's hard to fix a lot of shit, just like it's hard just to maintain some shit. People act like maintaining a bloodline is easy. It's not. You got to know when to inbreed, line breed, outcross, loose line breed, and you got to know what each formula is going to bring, and is going to constantly reoccur. So you got to know when to do those outcross breeding. So, like I said, it's a lot if you're getting into it, but start off with some dogs that you enjoy, some dogs you put your hands on, you like. They like. If you're a person who like to work fucking dogs and you want intense dogs, that's what you need to be looking for. You know what I mean? If you're a person who wants something a little bit calmer. You gotta find those lines that accommodate what you want. But the key is start off with shit that impressed you from Jump Street. Don't buy shit looking to be a dream. If you wasn't impressed with the parents, you wasn't impressed with the family tree, odds are you're not gonna be impressed with the dog. Be impressed when you buy dogs. That's my take on that.
Yeah. Don't be thirsty, man. Too. Don't get what you want to get, man. If you can, if it take you a year, 2 years, you know what I mean, then get what you want to get. Don't just get something in the meantime and shit. You know what I mean? Because you're not gonna keep that dog. Don't get a dog just to have a dog, just to tell people, oh, I got a dog. It's not really what I wanted, but I got him, because you ain't gonna do right by him anyway. And then as soon as what you really wanted becomes available, the dog you got, you're gonna put it on the back burner or pass it on to somebody else, man. Just get what you want to get, man. That's also I would say. Let's see here. I can't read that super chat, family. I think if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, I can't read that one. Let's see here what we got. I'll tell you what. Hey, Ram, why don't you go ahead and give us the disclaimer, man? My wife.
Hey, man, none of this shit should be used for any illegal purposes because it's not intended for that, man. We just here to bless the game with the shit we know. We don't know everything, but we know enough, As 4 motherfuckers up here, we should be able to get it done, We got the legendary old schoolboy, me, 7-8 Thompson, This ain't no match and scratch, none of that shit. We here just to try to keep the game going and keep it straight, man. It's the weekend, so you already know don't get caught lacking. And I seen a motherfucker get his ass beat today for sticking his dick in another nigga bitch. So don't be that guy either, If it ain't your pussy, keep your dick out of it, because a motherfucker will fuck you up in front of your kids over that shit. You don't want to be that dude get your ass whooped in front of your son, because he ain't taking out the trash or none of that shit no more, man. Other than that, be easy, be safe, be smooth, man. Practice your keeps and shit, man, while it's hot. I'll keep saying that, So when it cool off and shit, we don't get a whole bunch of keep questions that we already answered. We'll start getting some new ones. But just, practice and see what you get. Make sure you keep your dogs and shit clean, healthy, man. Enjoy life, man. Take care of your kids, all that good old shit. And if you like me, play a Roni, fuck bitches, get money. That's all I got.
Yes, indeed. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to Thompson Kennels right here on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit up Schoolboy.
For the you want your shit registered, I'm telling you. Hey, matter of fact, Scoob, I had to send out get a new bank card. I'm gonna send you the money today when I get to the house and when I activate my new card for those for the registry on those pups.
Sounds good.
And the Kings and Queens pups, 2 bands still, fuck with old school Rick, because Killer ain't got them shits. And if he say ain't got one of them dogs right now.
Yeah. Hey, Ram, I wanted to ask you something. Somebody asked about those misters, you use for your dogs.
Ram, you there?
Yeah. What was the question?
He wanted to know your setup. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a basic setup you would see at if you go to Home Depot and they Mister system. I bought the same shit that they sell, and I just run it at the top of the kennels. Boom, just tie them there off with I use zip ties. We ain't gotta be nothing fancy. I use the zip ties and just instead of hooking it directly up to my water hose, I got a 55-gallon drum pump, or drum, the blue ones, and then I got a pump to pump the water through. That way I could put the little oils, the lavender, the peppermint, and all that shit in there to keep the fucking bullshit insects down and shit, because they don't like that shit. This is a real simple setup, bro. Mr. System, I got it was only $100. It was 300 feet worth of the shit or something like that, man. I don't even use that much of it.
Yeah, cool. I appreciate it. Hopefully he's listening. He'll get
yeah. If not, just answer or ask it under this video. When it go off, I answer it again, bro. No big deal.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Already, man. Thank you for your fucking sacrifice to the game. You feel me?
Yes, indeed. Man. Salute to Schoolboy, man. Thank you for joining us again. And also, y'all go check out Schoolboy on Facebook Messenger. Subscribe to Thompson Kennels. and y'all stay tuned for next week. Friday we'll be back with another episode of Game Dog Talk, man. Salute
Hey,
y'all.
let's answer the rest of the questions too next week from today. There was a bunch of
Yeah,
good ones
yeah,
down there, man.
yeah. That's what I was saying. We got like 5-6 more good ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Good.
bet.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody stay safe. Peace. Salute.
Peace.